repairs at Charlotte Maxeke Academic Hospital, and to ensure that these take place on time. Almost a year ago, that institution was gutted by a fire, but the refurbishment work has been slow. It's just one way of putting it. A project plan has been handed over to the Gauteng Premier and the Health Minister, which aims to complete its work by the end of next year. For more, let's bring in Gauteng Government's Acting Director General, Thabo Masebe, who joins us via our video link this morning. It's great to see you, sir. Thanks, as always, for making time for Newzroom Afrika. As a start, my understanding is that the provincial and national department have had to intervene in part because the health department and the infrastructure department are not seeing eye to eye around matters to do with the budget and the scope of the kind of investigation and work that needs to be done at Charlotte Maxeke. What exactly is the point of contention here?
Yes, that is correct. So here the health department is a client department and the Department of Infrastructure Development is the implementing agent. So the two departments could not agree on the scope and the budget, where the Department of Health felt that they were being overcharged, or that the scope included things that were not necessary, as a result of which the budget became too high and unaffordable. We had to step in as the Office of the Premier, and when we did sometime last year, we then requested that we get an independent institution to conduct an assessment so that we can see whether the scope, what would be the right scope and the cost for the project. While we were doing that, of course, we also started engagement with the national department. And at the time when we were about to conclude, we also received the report from the SIU, which indicated that a number of officials from both the Department of Infrastructure Development and the Department of Health, who were working on the Charlotte Maxeke project, were implicated in maladministration with regard to the awarding of contracts for the refurbishment of the Anglo Gold Ashanti Hospital. When we got that report, we then felt that we should not even wait. We should then proceed with speed to remove the project from the infrastructure development and appoint another institution to implement the project. So together with National Department, we then agreed that it would be best to bring in the DBSA so that they can help us to implement the project faster.
Right. And I understand that, 9 officials from both the Health and the Infrastructure Development Department have been suspended. I imagine it's on the back of the findings of this SIU report. But part of what I've also come to realize, apparently, is that these officials were also halting work being done at Charlotte Maxeke. They were disrupting it in some part. Well, the exact wording is that they're responsible for the delays. In what ways were they halting this process?
They were disrupting the work. They were on the project, both the health and the infrastructure development, and they couldn't agree on the scope, as I said.
Yeah.
Now, when they don't agree on the scope and the Department of Health says to us, we don't want to overpay, and at the back of the report that we already received from the Anglo Gold Ashanti Hospital, we then had to say, well, let's wait a minute. It could be that indeed they were being overcharged. And then that's why we decided that we should then bring in the DBSA, which will help us to implement this project at cost and within a reasonable timeline.
All right. I also understand that some work has been done at the institution itself and money has been paid for that. How much money was paid and what's the extent of the work that's been completed?
As part of now handing over to the DBSA and the National Department, we are going to look at the report, a full report of what work has been done and exactly how much was paid and how much is still to be paid. But now we are focusing on the completion of the entire scope of the project so that, as we reported yesterday, the hospital can come back to full service within a year.
So the provincial department has taken over this project without asking questions around how much money has been paid already?
No, that is being dealt with, but we couldn't wait. That is being dealt with between the Department of Health and the Department of Infrastructure Development. As we are speaking, there are meetings scheduled. They started meeting this week. They'll continue to meet, but the priority is to get the project completed. So there will be a full audit which will tell us who did what work and how much is due to them for the work that they have done.
If I'm hearing you correctly, there's a possibility that some of the dodgy contracts that were flagged by the SIU report may very well have gone through, because as we speak, you're not even quite sure which contractors have been paid yet.
Well, let's wait for the audit. I don't want to jump the gun. We will wait for the audit to be completed. It will be completed in the next few days, and then so that we are able to move forward and complete the project.
My parting shot, Thabo Masebe, have we gotten to the bottom of what actually caused that fire and who will be held responsible for it?
Well, the police are investigating the cause of the fire. The Gauteng provincial government is eagerly awaiting the report from the police on the investigation. And of course, if fingers are pointed at any individuals, we will take appropriate action.
So we still don't know, despite everything that's happened, what actually is at the bottom of what sparked the fire, what sparked the flames?
Unfortunately, we don't investigate ourselves. The fire broke out at the hospital, which is owned by the provincial government, and it is only proper that the institutions that are authorized have to conduct the investigation.
Fair enough. Difficult pill to swallow nonetheless when you consider the cost of Charlotte Maxeke not being able to operate, especially its oncology department, given the kind of contribution they make, not only in the province, but definitely in the country. But Thabo Masebe, thanks for your time. Appreciate it.